Little People, Big World stars Tori and Zach Roloff dished up a bit of their personal lives during their online show ahead of the new season of their TLC series this week. They both described a horrific time in their lives. Unfortunately, one description of Zach, which was offered up by Tori, was perfectly innocent, but it found its way to the headlines taken a bit out of context. Little People, Big World, Zach Roloff and Tori Roloff, tough 7 years. Zach Roloff suffered horrendous migraines for years. When a migraine surfaced, everything shut down for the TLC celebrity, who could do nothing more than lie down. As an infant, this Little People, Big World star had a shunt implanted. A shunt is a catheter that goes from the head into the stomach. Zach explained that it drains off excess fluid that would otherwise cause pressure on his brain. So his first shunt as an infant was then followed by a shunt revision at 13 years old. But a long period went by until the next one in his early 30s. Tori Roloff calls his last revision pretty gnarly as the procedure was performed due to an emergency. For 7 years, this Little People, Big World dad of 3 suffered from the horrific pain of migraines. The usual course of action for Zach Roloff was to try and nap it off. When that didn't work, they'd go to the ER. Zach searches for help. This TLC celebrity saw every kind of specialist as he looked for help with this debilitating condition. Tori said that she suggested that it was shunt-related several times during his years of suffering. But the doctors found nothing. The migraines got worse over time until finally, one day, things got so bad that the Little People, Big World star almost died. Tori Roloff recalls walking into the ICU to see her husband. She saw the shape he was in and then said, "And so I'm like, oh my gosh, he's dying. Like this is it." Zach believed he was dying as well, as the pain was so intense. But before this, these horrific migraines went on for years. At times, he'd be so sick that they would need to stop what they were doing. Tori then talks about how Zach's condition interfered with his ability to be part of the birth of their third child, an event he wanted to desperately share with his wife. Little People, Big World. Tori compares Zach to deadbeat dad. During the time Zach battled these migraines, his wife recalls her stay at the hospital after giving birth to their son, Joja Roloff. Her husband was so ill with a migraine that he couldn't be there at times. When the nurse would ask Tori where her husband was, all she could say was that he was not feeling well. Both Tori and Zach didn't think the nurses bought that excuse. They suggested the medical folks probably thought she was just making excuses for a no-show husband. After describing the horror Zach went through battling that particular migraine episode, Tori said something on their show that popped up as a headline. As her Little People, Big World husband sat next to her on the couch during their Raising Heights online show, she used the term deadbeat dad. Tori Roloff used the term deadbeat dad with respect, and she didn't call her husband a deadbeat dad. No, this concerned wife said it in the context of what she thought the nurses might have been thinking. Due to Zach Roloff not being able to be there, everyone asked her where he was, Tori explained. Then during their Raising Height online venue, she turned to Zach and said, "But you were like the deadbeat dad that night." This was not what she was thinking about her husband, but it was the impression people at the hospital seemed to have because he wasn't there.